Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with IRS. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's the home of the 5 minute or less video. I don't do any promotion except to tell you if you go ahead and need a true tax professional, a former IRS agent to work your case. I have a team of former IRS agents to do that. I'm available for consultations. Quick note about me, I've worked over 10,000 cases. I'm a national expert in IRS representation. I've worked at IRS for a decade. I'm in private practice for 4 decades. And if you need any questions answered about your IRS situation, you can help me. I will ask you just to give me a subscription at the end of this if you can. Today I want to talk to you about, gee, I got to remember the damn form number. I used to send these forms out all the time. The 4564, which is called the doc request that IRS sends out to people. As a former revenue officer, I used to fill these out and send them to you. So I want to tell you a little about the doc request, why it's sent out, and just some things about it. So what usually happens, as a general rule, IRS is trying to collect the money, or they're trying to do an audit, and the agent, the revenue officer, the revenue agent, someone at IRS has your case, and they're doing an examination either for debt or for audit, and they need to work the case. So what do? Is they review your case, they check the computer, they check all sorts of information, tax returns, bank accounts, da 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 da, and they sit down with that form and they send out what's called a doc request or a document request. Sometimes there's one thing on there. I've had one that there was 56 things on there. You never know how many things IRS is going to put on that doc request. It all depends on the revenue officer, the revenue agent, or the examining officer who in fact is looking at the case. What is your obligation? Your obligation is to go ahead and get that information to IRS, because the case is not going to go away until you give them that information. They've done enough due diligence on your case to say, we need this information from you so we can go ahead and close out our investigation. If I'm looking at a case from an IRS standpoint, my doc request may say I want a financial statement filled out. I may want to see a copy of your tax return. I may want to see a copy of your profit and loss. I may want to see your bank statements for the last 6 months, your credit card information for the last year. I will go ahead and put out a list for me. I'd send about a 10 or 15 page 15 item list on the doc request. Everybody will do something different, and it all depends on the eye of the person who's looking at the case and what they want, what they see. For an exam, they may want to see your records for the last 3 years. They may want to see your receivable list. They may want to see your asset list. There's a lot of things exam may ask for. Collections is a little more simpler. They usually want to they want to see your financial statement, and they may want information on it, like things like, what are your vehicles? Do you have any other licenses? What's going on? So IRS is getting that information prepared, so when you give them that, they can work your case. And many times they will send you out a second doc request after they've looked at the first doc request. What you want to do is you want to put it in a nice, neat, orderly fashion, and you want to send it to IRS. If you're missing something on there, they're not going to be happy, because they've already discovered this is something they need to look at. So if there's a letter that you need to add along with something to explain something that's unusual, go ahead and do that. But doc request, that the form, the 4564, is something that almost everyone uses anytime a case is in the local office. Generally, you'll never get them from the service center, but you'll actually get them from local IRS agents. If you need any representation help, give us a contact. We're happy to do that. If this information was helpful, please give me a subscription. I'm open for YouTube ideas. And like I said, my YouTubes are no longer than 5 minutes. I try to give you all the information you need. So give me a subscription, maybe a like, but I'm happy to answer all your questions. Make sure all tax returns are filed. You keep all your estimate payments up to date. Keep the IRS happy because they can keep giving you doc requests until you're ready to burst. And if you get them and you're not sure and you're scared, you do need IRS representation, either from your own accountant, somebody, but usually former IRS agents know what the hell they're doing. Later.